Evening and welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. Welcome to another happy show after another home win where the Sky Blues ran out 3-0 winners against a very tame Preston side on a night where we celebrated the music of Coventry. Preston even brought their very own ghost town in the away end. Our squad of players performed with love and pride, and right now they clearly want to be somebody. Too much pressure? I don't think so. That missing piece of the jigsaw has got us going sky high. With the Fun Boy 3 up front and our very own specials in midfield, it only left our defence to compete with the enemy, and they handled it brilliantly. I tell you now, I can't wait for Saturday. Tonight, my partner in crime is Jack, and we also, hopefully, we're hoping to have a Southampton guest join us a little later to look ahead to the weekend. If he's a no-show, let's hope the team doesn't show up on Saturday either. That'd be fantastic. There's no Miles, Vicky or Ken. They're unavailable tonight doing stuff. So you're left with me, Abbott and Costello, running the show. There's lots to chat about tonight, and we'll look at selection. We'll break down the defence, midfield, forward line, and of course the importance of the bench. Plus, plenty of other stuff along the way. And remember, this show is about you as well. So hit the button, like and subscribe, and tell your mates dead or alive that we exist. Tonight, have your say, pose a question, bring up a topic of debate, and let's have a proper chat about what's becoming the most memorable season since 1987. And in the words of Jim Brown, even better than 66-67. That's something, isn't it? Now, because when you think about it, we remember those decadent days not so long ago when many of us were still thinking, if only someone could come in and change the fortunes of this club and take it to a higher level. Well, on the 8th day arrives Doug King, and now the belief is back. The club feels united again, and the direction is clear because Sky Blue fans, the promised land is now in touching distance. So settle in. This is Sky Blue Fans TV. Good evening, Jack.
Good evening, Claudio. You're getting one of these. Very good, very good. We've already got Brian Tully says, I love that opening with all the Coventry music references. And Wendy says, what an opening, Claudio. Well done, well done. Got me chuckling.
You know what, Jack? I believe you got some news. So let's get your news through first, then we'll talk about Preston.
Yes, so first of all, as you might have seen on socials, and we did briefly talk about this the other day, Ken and myself, and I think maybe Claudio as well now, will be down in the family zone. So the indoor bit that's newly open this season will be down there before the game. 10 o'clock it's open from, so come down, say hello, come and have a conversation with us. Bring your kids. We're giving out free crisps and pop as well. Also, newly advertised, it came out the other day, we have a live event at Greens in Kenilworth. It's a ticket-only event, Monday the 30th of March. It costs £2.50 to get in, and you get your raffle ticket with that cost. So it's dirt cheap. Come down. It'll be fantastic. We have a couple of guests in the pipeline. It is very exciting, but we have one confirmed, and that is League Two captain, promotion-winning Michael Doyle. Obviously, 2 stints with the Sky Blues. So that will be very, very exciting. And the shirts behind me that I try and tailor to every show might be a bit of a hint as to who the other player could be. One of the other players. Who knows? We'll see how we go. But also, I've been having conversations with Elephant Head. So you might have seen him on Facebook. He does some brilliant edits. And he's come up with another video for us. So I've kept this a secret from the rest of the team. I'm the only one that knows about it. And I'll share it with the rest of them, obviously, because they're not here tonight. But maybe just turn your volume down because it might be quite loud. But give this a watch. And Claudio, I want to know what you think. Here we go.
Sky Blue Fans TV.
What do you make of that, Claudio?
That is absolutely brilliant. That is brilliant. Chippy Ken, I love it. It's so clever.
I love the bit at the end as well. It says Sky Blue Fans TV for the fans by the fans, except when the traitors is on.
But what I like about what he does, if it's a he, of course, you don't know who he is, is when he does the other little vignette things and videos where he's got the rest of the other podcasters in there as well. It's so clever what he does. I think it's brilliant. That is funny. I love that.
And I did have to message him today because the original included the Simpsons opening theme. And obviously we will get copyright done for that today. I didn't make it. Please don't give me any plaudits. What I had to do is remove the audio from it today and replace it with the Eton Boating song, the Sky Blue song as we know it as. So please don't give me thanks. It is Elephant Head that needs all the credit for that. And it was absolutely brilliant.
What a great way to start the show. Jack, I think before we talk about the game, let's knock out some comments, I think, because there's quite a few. So
let's start with the ever cheerful Wayne. 3 points. What a cracking result. Genuinely think 86 points is enough for top two. Well, that's only 9 away. Hi all. Hopefully we can win before our last game of the season. What do you think? I think it'd be done and dusted well before that. Mark Packman, we seem to be getting stronger each game. Are we on our way to the promised land? We absolutely are. We just need to relish in this now. Still can't believe it. Another win. Time to celebrate with another massive pizza, says Sam Stephen. Lovely pizza. Just don't put any pineapple on it, or if you do, don't tell Claudio. How much better is the midfield when Onyeka and Grimes are together rather than Grimes, Torp and Eccles? They're just too slow. Whereas last night, it just flowed. Ryan says, we continue to be composed, professional, and just a fantastic team. Breaking records and 1 foot in the Premier League. Absolutely unreal. Unconfirmed reports that Ken is getting the beer in when we get promoted. I think he might be getting the chips in. A third gear stroll, says Ian Small. Very welcome. All of the subs looked at it, which bodes well for the culture in the camp. 4 points from the next 2 will be excellent. What a strange match, says Rich T. PNE were very poor, both in the second gear and never looked like not winning. Last 20 minutes of training session. No complaints, though. Great show as ever, says Heaney. What do you think? Who do you think is the player of the season so far? If you can't choose Rushworth to make it a bit more interesting, well, that would have been my answer. What time does it start? Does me dad say? I don't know. Was it on the poster? That's bad, isn't it? Does it say? Get the comment off. No. Details to follow in due course.
I would say around about 7:30.
Well, yeah, that's the normal show start time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Loads of people saying brilliant about the video that we put. Top work, love the Simpsons. Hello. King of the Championship. We have so much love and pride for our great club. Absolutely. Mr. Dino says, love the music. Reminds me of a Carry On movie. Ian Small, love the video. Ken should have been in an army uniform. Trevor Merriman says, you should have presented the opening last night, Claudio. It was so much better than that DJ.
No comment.
Elephant Head has done well since appearing in the Young Ones. Finally, Claudio, I've edited my username in YouTube settings. Hopefully you won't call me Paula now. This is Paul Ackerman. So it's not Paula. Paul, it is Paul. Well, thank you, Paul. That makes it easier for us to read that out.
I get called Claudia all the time. So used to it.
Yeah, that's what you call yourself on a Sunday, isn't it?
That's true, yes.
I'll leave you with this one then. One of the best stats from Jim. We have won more games at home this season than Southampton have won all season. Mad, isn't it? There you go.
Yeah, we've also got a better goal difference than goals conceded.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
I want to read one last thing out because it's nice to get little notes from people who watch the show. So before we talk about the Preston game, I won this item on eBay. It's the Bayern Munich 1971 70-71 Fairs Cup program, which I've been after it for years, and I've got it on eBay, and I hadn't got a clue who was selling it. And then when I get the the package. I get Claudio, keep up the great work with the podcast. I've enjoyed the history with Jim. Please accept a few bonus items as a thank you from Tom. So, Tom, whoever you are, thank you very much. And if you see me at the ground, please come and say hello, and I'll make sure you buy me a beer as well. That's fair enough, isn't it?
and me as well. Why not?
Also, we want to talk quickly about the guy who might be doing the tattoo for Miles. Should we just bring that up?
Yes, here you go. It's is it Instinct he's called? Let me just get the message up from Miles. Sorry, I should have been prepared for this one. He says he wants to get as many people that want tattoos of Coventry badges to him, because he says when he started doing, he said he did 2 Coventry badges in his first 3 years. Now he does one a month or a few every 6 months just to make sure. He charges £100 for a black and white one and £120 for a coloured badge. He's a huge Cov fan. He's a fan of the show, and that's where Miles will be going when we win the league. So if anyone's interested in some ink, go and support a fellow Cov fan.
Is he only having it done if we win the league, not if we get promoted?
We are going to win the league, Claudio. It's not a conversation. No. Don't worry.
I have to do it in my pants, for God's sake. Right, let's talk about the game then. So I wasn't too. I mean, I predicted 3-0 for a start. So so I was quite happy with that. And I didn't think we'd have too much trouble, but I thought we'd have a little bit of trouble. They were a bit tame, like I said in the introduction. But I want to concentrate on us. I want to just start on our defence. Now, we knew players would have to come in because of suspensions, and it was obvious that who was going to start. But I thought the 2 lads in the middle of the defence, Jack, did a great job last night. And Wolfton, so much better than he's been in previous games, I think. I don't know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I think Wolfie's played a few games consecutively now, hasn't he? So that's possibly helped with his confidence. He's not been thrown in for one random match and then taken back out again based on a bad performance. He's sort of, with the injuries and suspensions around, he's been guaranteed a place for a couple of weeks. Kitchen, we know what we're getting from Kitchen. Sometimes he can really, really cock up, or sometimes he can step up, nick the ball off a defender or off the striker, and run into midfield. And they were both solid. To be honest, I don't think Preston caused us any problems. So it could have been me and you at the back, Claudio, and I think we'd have mopped it up well enough. With no disrespect to Liam and Wolf, but yeah, a solid performance. They've got a clean sheet to prove that.
The reason we've got a clean sheet as well, though, is because of that goalkeeper of ours. At 0-0, a terrific save, which it's almost like you kind of expect him to make those saves, don't you now?
Yeah, I mean, at no point. I mean, even at Bristol last week, the second half, Bristol was shooting down the far end, and you could see these shots from afar curling and into the post, and Rushworth just appears on the opposite side of the goal and saves it. That save from that corner, flick on at the near post, and he gets right up into that top bin, as they call it, and kept it out. I don't think any other Coventry goalkeeper that I can remember would have got there. I really don't think they would have. Maybe Kieran Westwood's about the only one I can remember that was that good. Rushworth is definitely the best since Kieran, and I think he's better.
It's interesting. I was sat next to Dave Bennett, and it was great actually sitting next to Dave, listening to and talking about the game itself. And the one thing he did say was he felt he could be quite easy England keeper in future years, because the ones I've seen ahead of him who are English aren't as good. And they've gone for big money as well. Did one go for 30, 40 million almost? Was it Pope, I think, or Target went for a lot of money somewhere? So it'd be interesting how much we'd have to pay if we get promoted and we have first dibs, which is what Stephen Hunt, the agent, was saying. And he wants to stay. And he just seems such a right fit for the club, doesn't he? And I don't know, because their keeper was a big keeper, but he was nowhere near as mobile as Rushy. And that's what I like about him. He's got great mobility. Looking at our defence, though, the question was about who would you pick besides Rushworth. There's one guy who's playing left back this season who was prime Cafu before Christmas. He turned a bit nafu, didn't he, for a few weeks The sending off didn't help against Southampton. It set him back. He was having such a good season, and it sort of knocked him a bit, I think. And coming back took him a while to get going again. But his footwork, his crossing, it's just been excellent, hasn't he, this season?
He's one of them that I think in the summer, when we signed Brown, we all thought Brown was going to be the number one. We would have quite happily, as a fan base, moved on to Silva and Bidwell. And I don't think a single fan would have been disappointed by that. If I said to you, maybe just before the Southampton game when he got sent off, that we were going to sell De Silva in January, we'd be saying, we can't do that. He's brilliant. Yes, I know he gets targeted with his height and the balls over the, down that channel in between him and Kitchen, it was mostly. But he's been fantastic. He's defended as well as he can. And his attacking output, especially recently, with 2 assists in the last 3, well, it was 2 and 2, wasn't it, before last night, was just, it's fantastic. And he seems to now pick up that ball and beat a player and then beat another player and then beat another player and then offload it. And then he's down the wing. It's like, it's unbelievable. You expect that from a winger, not a fullback, but his ball control is fantastic.
Well, I noticed there was a lot of play down that side of the pitch, close to the touchline, where they got the ball out under the feet, got it out, got it moving, trying to get it forward quickly. We look so much better, don't we, when we do that?
Yeah. I mean, we keep saying that playing slow it just allows teams to get back behind the ball, and we struggle to break down a park the bus sort of team. And that's what I kind of thought Preston were going to be last night. I think we got the goal early enough that they didn't have to resort to that, and that was the end of the game, basically, from my opinion. But if we play quick, we will outplay any team in this league, and that proves it that we don't play quick for 50% of the time, but we're still top. Imagine if we could still play quickly and aggressively throughout the whole season, we'd already be on 100 points, Claudio, and we'd be smashing more records.
I think if we hadn't had all those suspensions and illnesses and injuries, we'd have probably had about 10 more points easily over that Christmas period. The 2 defeats, QPR, Norwich away, we know they're, for me, I've said it before, they're probably our worst performances of the season in terms of not controlling the game once we got in front. They were games we should have won. On the other side, we've got the guy, I think, with the most assists this season. Is that right?
Milan?
Yeah. And this is somebody who a lot of people think has had an ordinary season, and yet he's still up there in the charts as creating the most goals. And he's such a good player. And this is, I mean, he signed an extension to his contract, didn't he? I'm trying to think the players who did.
Yes, Milan. It was Milan, Kitchen, and Jay, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's an important signing, I think, going forward, because the fact that we can get into the Premier League, he's one of those players that you have to say has to stay at the club, because he will get better with better players around him as well, to give him more freedom to possibly push further forward. Excellent in my eyes.
And the thing he's got going for him, that a lot of players, we can have this argument in a few weeks when we actually have won the league, of who will cut it in the Premier League. I think Milan's got such an advantage over every other player in our squad, purely based on his pace. He's got the pace that if a winger beats him, he'll go and catch up with him again. We saw it against Bristol. He was out of position. They played round him. He got back. He put the tackle in. The player nicked it round him, but then he still went and blocked the eventual cross shot, whatever it was anyway. So he had 3 attempts at stopping a cross or shot, whatever it was, and he was successful in the end. So he's got every chance of being brilliant in the Premier League.
Well, not only that, he's got a long throw, and it's sought after now. It sounds ridiculous not to think that 2 or 3 years ago, but and it's funny, isn't it? Because when he first came, we knew he had a long throw. He used it in one game, then didn't do it again, did he? We completely ditched it, and that could have been a really good weapon to have that season, but we didn't use it at all. Do you want to do some comments before we go looking at the midfield?
Yeah, sure. One of the best stats from Jim. I said that one. That was me marker. My wife wants to know where you got that large Coventry crest from behind you. This one here. This is from a bloke on Facebook called Dave Signs. So all I know him as, and I got it around COVID time, so years ago. I think he is still running, but go give a look on Facebook to Dave Signs. JDS was superb and has to be our most improved player from the Robbins era. I completely agree. That was a championship winning performance. Brilliant 3 points. Southampton, we're coming for you, Sam. Okay. Save us a bit of that. Oh, Sam, save us a bit of that lovely pizza. That makes more sense now. Top of the league nearly all season. Best home and away records. Most goals. Highest home and away attendances. Soon to be crowned champions. Completed it, mate. Yes. Sounds very Jay Cartwright-esque, doesn't it? But completed it, mate, is absolutely right. 27,500 for a midweek game. Great turnout. And to be fair, Millwall didn't bring that. A couple of coaches, didn't they? It was
Preston,
really
yeah.
not a lot of them. So Preston, yeah. They could have had 2,000 more fans. So that has hindered our attendance figures there. But hey-ho. B. Vargas says, just a half a Jack or he might get overexcited. I'd had a couple last night when I was on the show, if you watch it. I was having one live. A massive praise for that set-piece coach, being brilliant all season. When we win the league, we will get the trophy on our last home game, or will it be given at Watford? I think it will be given to us on our last home game if we've won it before then. If not, obviously they have to do it on the last game. But we will have done it before then, so yeah. Against Wrexham, I think, will be the outcome. Preston are up there as one of the most disappointing sides we've seen this season. Their trademark grit and determination was completely missing. Not complaining, though. Do you know, I was listening to them two plonkers that do that podcast. You know, the two, the beardy ones that Claudio loves. And I thought they made a good point, actually, which was that Preston started last season quite well and ended up nearly relegated last year. They've done exactly the same this year. They started quite well and have just completely capitulated, which, you know, I do agree with. They're really struggling. Pompey Lil says his shooting isn't so good about Jay De Silva. No, we all know that. He could have had a couple goals recently. Brian Tully says Preston were time wasting after 50 seconds. I think it was about 35, actually. And Tat signed an extension. Did he? Have I missed that? When was that? Has that already happened?
I think
I'll believe you. I don't remember it. I'll believe you.
Yeah,
Grimes and JDS linked up so well. Grimes doesn't have to cover both flanks since the arrival of Frank the Tank. We'll come on to that very shortly. It should have been a draw at Blues, Claudia, if we'd have had that blatant pen at the end, or if we could have just defended remotely competently. That would have been fine. Hamer has the most assists in the Championship, according to FOTMob. Yes. I've just looked at this. Ryan Giles as a defender has 8. Milan as a defender has 7. Every other player in that conversation is either a midfielder or a striker. So in terms of defenders, I think Claudio was making the point. He's one of the best attacking defenders. Milan is world-class. Don't underestimate him. I think Milan will thrive in the Prem. There you go. They're agreeing with us. I bet when promoted, Hamer and O'Hare will be gutted. It could have been you. Milan and Kessler-Hayden locked down the 2 players for that berth in the Prem. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of this when we win the league until it's mathematically done. I'm keeping my mouth shut. Of course, we respect that. DJ was not great and thought you'd like to know, Claudio. The second tier say the league is done for Coventry now. There you go. Well, Richard, the second tier have said it. So there you go. We'll carry on.
Yeah, the worrying thing about that is when they praised us last time is when we had that bad run. But if we even do as bad as we did in that bad run, we'll still get enough points anyway. So it'd be done and dusted with about 3 or 4 games to go. So I'm not that concerned at the minute. And that point gap now is so good that they can probably relax a bit more against Southampton and just try and play football. Looking at the game, though, before we go on about our midfield, which is key in this match, absolutely. Grimes and Onyeka I've got to say, Frank, the amount of ground he covers, Jack, is just ridiculous, isn't it? I wouldn't want him bearing down on me. He's got those little spindly legs, hasn't he? That just seem to wrap around and get a tackle in. So good. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, he's everywhere, isn't he? Even when we shift all the way over to that wide left-hand side and Grimes goes to be the sort of makeshift left back, if you will, with De Silva in front of him. Onyeka's still there in the midfield. He's still ready to receive the ball. He's not on the opposite flank just doing nothing. He is everywhere. There was a time where he was running down the right wing and almost put a cross in. I didn't expect that from what looked to be a holding midfielder, but he can do everything, can't he? And that shot he had first sort of 10 minutes, we all saw the 2 he had against Stoke where he leant back and they flew way over the bar that we thought, maybe he can't shoot. it was an unreal strike and a fantastic save that kept that out.
Yeah, it was a good save. Now, as I mentioned, Dave Bennett sat next to me. He says, if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle regarding Sakamoto's goal. I didn't realise how big a deflection it was, actually, but who cares when you see the scruffy goals that Middlesbrough and Ipswich has scored in the nights before us and the weekend. I just think fair play to Tats because he's deserved that, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of shooting chances within 30 seconds before that, and the crowd were going, shoot, shoot. And then it got Sakamoto, and we did. And obviously it hit the defender, and we all sort of went, oh. And then it just trickled in that opposite corner. The goalkeeper was nowhere. Fantastic. I mean, thank God we've had luck that's brilliant for a massive deflection. Finally, it's gone our way.
Yeah, and I also think, I mean, I've mentioned it way back 2 years ago when I said, and it's virtually the same, well, it is the same defence pretty much over the season is played. And I said, I just didn't think they were good enough to get us promoted. They need a bit of strength and leadership. We got that with Grimes last winter, and it almost got us to the playoff final. We've now added, of course, Rushworth, which is key to this, I think. And now Onyeka this time round, which is a signing of the window as far as I'm concerned. I think most people who watch Brentford know how, I mean, are they 8th in the table or something? They're up there, aren't they?
Brentford have shot up. I think they're in the conversation for European football, yeah.
Yeah, they've got a really good midfield. And for him not to get into that midfield, it doesn't mean he's a bad midfielder. It's just that Brentford's got a very good midfield, you know, a lot to choose from. And he's putting himself in the shop window as well, isn't he, by coming to us? And he knew he'd be getting games.
Oh, yeah.
Our midfield is really solid. And I want to come on to Thomas Asante here. And I know Radoni's injured. But BTA, his energy levels, I thought was tremendous. And it's taken him, you know, a few substitute appearances to get into that mode, hasn't he? And I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And last night, yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are, Jack, but I thought he was up there as almost close to well, he did get man of the match, I think, in the lounges, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he got the Coventry man of the match award.
Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, someone like BTA playing in a number 10 role at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have said that was on the cards. Obviously, Radoni's injury allowed that. I think as well, because of the nature, he's a striker, right? He's not a number 10. He is naturally a striker. He wants to be forward. He wants to be making runs, and he wants to be in the box. That is, I mean, it was successful earlier in the season when he was in good form. He was scoring goals. But our midfield of Grimes and Torp is not as defensive as Frank and Grimes is now. I think with the complete solidity that we have with Frank the Tank and Grimes holding that midfield, he has the free reign of going where he wants and doing what he wants. Like you say, he's absolutely everywhere. His energy levels are through the roof. And he doesn't need to necessarily come back and defend all the time because we've got two players that are brilliantly capable of defending, whereas with no disrespect to a Victor Torp, his role isn't that as much. He's sort of a box-to-box midfielder, isn't as brilliant as doing the defensive bit.
I thought we looked like a team who can see the finish line. Yes, that's first half. Especially after what happened to the wonderful squad that is Ipswich, as they kept telling us on Sky, when they got back from 2-0 down to win 3-2, saying how wonderful they were. And having to listen to that nonsense, only for Stoke to equalise at the end, which is quite funny. You know,
that was never a pen, was it?
No, it wasn't at all, was it? But then, of course, we scored our second goal, which, fair play to Ellis Sims. I thought Ellis did really well last night. Was a handful, which is what you want him to be. And he looked like he was enjoying it, didn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He was everywhere. He was holding the ball up. He was making runs. He was bullying defenders, which we know Ellis has the capabilities of doing, but doesn't necessarily do it enough. But he was doing it against defenders that are notoriously bullies, as Preston are. And if it hadn't have been for a world-class save, that would have been Ellis's goal, not Brandon's goal. It was lucky again how it sort of hit him in the chest and went in. But again, Brandon's always at the right place at the right time and scores these goals. But take nothing away from Ellis. He's definitely a contender for man of the match last night, especially if he'd got himself on that score sheet.
I thought, about being blasé, but it just felt like game over at 2-0. Which
Yeah.
we've not had that very often. Yeah, there's not
No.
often I've said we're 2-0 up, that's it, done and dusted. But Preston just didn't want to know, did they? It was weird from a Higginbottom team as well, which was a surprise. Out of ideas, but was that down to us? It probably was, actually. Maybe we need to give our lads a bit more credit than.
Well, like people have said, we didn't really get out of second or third gear, did we, all night? And it just proves that even us at being average are better than most teams in this league at the moment. So bring on anyone.
Now I can see in the background we've got our Saints fan who's bring him in. Of course, let's bring him in, shall we? Good evening, Martin. I just before Jack's going to ask you some questions, and I just realised that you are. Oh, can we hear him? We can't hear you.
No, still not there yet.
We'll get him up in a minute.
Yeah, we go. You can hear me now. You can hear
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
There you go. Sorry. I've even done my background in sky blue, especially for you guys.
Appreciate it.
I didn't realise that you are just behind us in the form table. You've jumped up, haven't you, up through the after a slow start? And any reason why? What do you think's changed from the start of the season, apart from the manager?
Yeah, there's a fair bit changed since we played you. Actually, it's at Mary's just before Christmas. It was the game just before the Christmas run. Really, it was the first of a block of really tough fixtures. We were playing a back five, 3 centre backs were wing backs, and the manager after the Coventry game, we had a really bad run. We went away to Oxford on Boxing Day. We were beaten. We went up to Birmingham. We drew. We were really poor. We drew in Millwall at home, and then we were defeated at home against Hull City. We were really poor, and the manager found himself under a bit of pressure, a young man, and the fans were restless, and everybody was calling for a back four. He went to a back four and brought James Bree back from a loan at Charlton, and since then, going to the back four, he's never really looked back. We just about got a result against Sheffield United, I think it was, at home, followed up by a derby down at Portsmouth. We got through those two fixtures, picked up 4 points. And since then, we've been fairly decent. We've been fairly consistent, but the formation has changed. That's been the biggest change, really.
And what I've noticed is after us, I mean, because obviously we're top of the table, so we're going to be supposedly the toughest game you have. But after us, you've got a really favourable running, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for us is the FA Cup. We've gone through in the Cup and we've ended up in a position where it's not easy when you've got a fixture against a Premier League opposition at home.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we've been there at the same stage and got through it. You probably don't want to really, do you? In some ways, or do you? It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really difficult. And I think where the games are scheduled as well, the FA Cup quarterfinals land right in the middle of what is a really busy championship weekend over Easter. We've got games on Good Friday, and then you've got games on Easter Monday. It lands right in the middle of that. So our game that was scheduled to be against Ipswich at home, that's now off. That's going to be rescheduled. And also our game against Wrexham on Easter Monday, that's been moved as well. So all of a sudden, the fixtures become piled up at the back end of the season. And I think you end up putting so much into cup games. Like we put a huge amount into the game against Fulham. Inevitably, that had a massive impact on our result last night against West Bromwich Albion. We had a massive hangover. We were nowhere near as good as we were in the game against Fulham. And there just felt like it was a hangover. So I see it as a bit of an issue, the FA Cup. It's a bit of a distraction. Is it a good distraction? I'm not convinced it is, actually, because I think my ambition as a fan, I want to see us, pushing for a playoff place and trying to secure a place back in the Premier League, because inevitably that's where I want to see my team.
I know. I'll just hand you to Jack in just a second. I know that's what affected us a couple of years ago, because we ended up missing out by about 5 points into the playoffs, and we lost 3 of our last home matches. we just need to win 2 of those. Would have been in the playoffs. So we know how it can go not the way you want it to. Jack, you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, obviously, I'll take you back to last season. I know you might not want to talk about that too much, but you obviously came down as one of the worst teams the Premier League has seen, and it was really poor. Manager merry-go-round and all that. You appoint Will Still, who's obviously not got any sort of coaching background. He did one decent job in France. Obviously, he then moves on.
Yeah,
it was an awful start to the season. Obviously, the expectations of a team coming down, Premier League, parachute payments. You've been up and down the last 10 years or so, haven't you?
Yeah.
Were you expecting to give a better go at the Championship this season so far? Would you have expected at least to be in the playoffs at the moment?
Absolutely. Even though we did have a really tough Premier League campaign last year, it was a total mess from start to finish. And I think it's been proved by what Sunderland and Leeds have done by going up. They can give all of us a bit of hope going forward. And I wish Coventry all the success next season. You will be a Premier League side. There is no doubt about that. And you will learn from the mistakes we make, because we made some horrific mistakes. It had a massive hangover. They bring a man in at the start of the season, then Will Still. Really nice guy. The club actually gave me the opportunity to interview him for my channel early on in the season. And the one thing I noticed about him, he was a really nice guy, very thoughtful. But I thought he continually spoke about the trauma from last season. There was this hangover, and the season needed to end last year, and it needed to be a fresh start. A new manager, not connected to it. Yes, you've got a few players there. We brought a load of bodies in. We got a few out, maybe not enough out that we needed to. We spent 55 million. So we spent a fair bit of money. You brought Azaz in, top Championship talent. Tom Fellow, Cienza come in from Germany, Yander from Germany. We brought some good players in. It was a really good mix, and he just didn't get the best out of them. He was quite timid. I don't think the fans took to him. The players certainly didn't take to him, and it just became really, really frustrating. And fans run out of patience really quickly, because his lack of experience in England was a big thing, but the fact he'd not played the game. And I think it was a big thing for a lot of Saints fans. And then I just think it was just a recipe for disaster, all of it together, really. It needed a bit more experience at the start of this season. But we've actually ended up with a guy now that's younger with even less experience, and he's done really well. So he's just got the players to buy into him, and he's done well, Eckert. Fair play to him. Whether he have enough to get us over the line is another matter. I'm not 100% convinced we will get it over the line and get in the playoffs. And I think it'd be a huge shame and a massive missed opportunity.
Well, like you say, with the FA Cup games that you're going to be battling with, it's going to be a tough ask. And yes, you say it will be a massive missed opportunity because of how poor the other parachute payment teams have been. Leicester down in the bottom fighting relegation, Sheffield United are mid-table. It was you and Ipswich that were surely the favourite too. And good luck to you sorting the rest of your season out. But comment here says, since your new manager's come in, you'd be top before the round of games we've just had this midweek. So it proves that your new manager's working, which is a good thing for you guys, obviously. Just to take you back to the reverse fixture just before Christmas, as Coventry fans, we're travelling down to the game. We hear of illness to our defenders. So we're turning up. We've got Victor Torp, our midfielder, out. Both of our starting centre-halves, Bobby Thomas and Liam Kitchen, rumoured to be ill. We turn up, we see the team sheet, and we think we're getting battered today. Genuinely, we thought we were. And 1-0 at half-time, I thought we controlled the game. Coventry were much the better side, and it was a game of two halves because the red card changed absolutely everything. How did you see the game?
Yeah, it was I'm not just saying it because I'm on the Coventry channel. You're one of the best sides I've seen it in the flesh, if not the best side that I've seen in the flesh. I've done every home game and the majority of the away games as well. I thought you were superb in that first 45 minutes. I think 11v11 Coventry win that game. That's how I felt it was going. I didn't think Saints would we were blunt in attack, and we've been like that a lot this season where we just haven't been able to break sides down. The sending off, really, I thought once that happened, they just dug in so deep. You guys did. I thought defensively organised. I spoke about the goalkeeper a lot on my channel, Carl Rushworth. I think he's fantastic. He is without question one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the best goalkeeper in the league. He proved it on the day. He was brilliant. Every time I've seen him, he's been brilliant. He's magnificent. And if we'd had a goalkeeper like him at the start of the season, we'd be in a far better place, let me tell you. But yeah, it was one of those games that we dug in really deep, very well organised, loads of threats throughout the side as well. And always look at Jack Radoni, and I like him as a player. I think he was just coming back from injury at the time, but yeah, it was just the sending off. You're right, it absolutely did change the game. And the Saints fans give Frank Lampard a lot of stick, and he was a passionate man. You know, he took a bit of stick for it, but at the end of the day, he just bit. We create content, don't we? And we can take abuse at times. It cannot be very nice. And when people are really nasty about your appearance and things, and sometimes you're just like, you bite. I've done it, and I don't mean to, but you bite sometimes. And he bit. And actually, the passion, I think it made it quite exciting in the end. There was a few handbags at the end, but it was just a load of passion. And the way he went over to the Coventry fans, and the way the Coventry fans were that day, some of the loudest fans that I've seen in the stadium this year, I thought they were really, really good, really, really good. I was down that end as well, and the atmosphere inside the stadium I thought was superb on the day.
Yeah, I was down there. It was fantastic. It was enjoyable seeing the handbags. And to be honest, when that red card goes in, you equalise quite quickly. I thought we're done for. But like you say, we dug deep, we held out, and we celebrated like it was a win, because it kind of was from the position we were in. So we were criticised for over-celebrating a bit, but I don't care. We kept in the game. That's the main thing. Anyway, as Claudio says, you are in form at the moment. 6 wins in the last 10. And even in your last 6 games, you know, 4 wins, 2 draws, you haven't lost. We haven't lost in our last 6. Obviously, we've won all 6. We are at home. We are going to be the favourites. But does the momentum that you've gained recently give you confidence coming up to one of the toughest places to come in the league?
Well, you've only lost at home once this season, if I'm right in saying. Was that against Ipswich? So your form at home's impeccable. It's the toughest place to go to. It will be our toughest away game. There's no shadow of a doubt. I think we played better against better sides, and we certainly proved that down at Fulham at the weekend. Brilliant performance at Craven Cottage on Sunday. Really, really good. The best of the season. Put a lot of energy into it. And then last night we turned up at the Hawthorns and we were absolutely abysmal. We were terrible. Terrible is probably the worst performance I've seen since Hull, when we were beaten at St Mary's. We were dreadful last night. We didn't get any momentum, struggled to move the ball. And the biggest, we walked away with a point. We didn't deserve it. West Brom were awful, by the way. They're absolutely dreadful. We were, I think as a fan base, we're just so disappointed afterwards. So I think we feel a bit more fearful about the weekend now for the fact that we were so poor last night. And we pick up an injury to, without question, our best player, one of the Championship's best players. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a Coventry shirt next season, is Leo Cienza. He was absolutely phenomenal this season. He's been brilliant, and he got injured last night and it didn't look great. He was holding his quad and it looks like he could be out for a period of time, which is a huge blow.
And yeah, so obviously you're taking some momentum, maybe not from the last game, like you say, but do you think you'll win? Do you think you'll give us a good go? I mean, you've said you turn up a bit better against better opposition. I think we do as well. We find that if you try and out-football us, we will out-football you. If you park the bus and play it long, we can be susceptible. So I think you've said that. It plays into our hands. So actually, you've given me a bit more confidence there.
Yeah, I think Saints will play Cole Aaron out front. He was the striker that scored for us last night, the number 9. He's a real handful, Laren, and I wonder if Saints will look to go a little bit more direct against Coventry and play a little bit less football. We had a huge amount of possession last night against West Brom. Totally dominated the possession stats, but were very blunt in the final third. And I think it's all great having the ball, but you have to hurt teams. Something we don't always do. But I have seen us play a bit more direct in some games. We played on the counter quite a lot against Fulham at the weekend. I've not seen us do that a lot. That was down to the pace of Fellows and Cienza. Cienza's a miss. So I'm thinking it'd probably bring in a player that's not started a game this year. Samuel Edozie has been coming off the bench a bit. Very out of favour under Will Steele. he's back in under Eckert. I wonder if he'll go with a bit of pace out wide and try and pen the fullbacks in a bit more than what he did last time. But yeah, I'm really fearful about the game just for the fact we were so poor last night. I think the manager has big decisions as well over team selection and certainly the midfield, how he partners. The two midfielders didn't work particularly well last night, Charles and Downs. I think that may look little bit different come the weekend. Cole Aaron's definitely one to watch. He wasn't obviously a Southampton player when we played you at St Mary's, but he is a real handful. He will occupy defenders, and he will certainly get us fouls and cause a bit of carnage in the box. That's for sure.
And when we came, oh sorry, Claudia, when we came to St Mary's, obviously former player of ours, Adam Armstrong, was the Championship's top goal scorer. We were fearful, and I remember he missed a chance quite early on. He's obviously moved on in January to Wolves. Obviously, he'll be coming back down anyway. But has that meant you're less reliant on one single player? Has it improved you as a team, or was it actually a big loss and you've just rallied around that?
I think it's an interesting one. Adam Armstrong, he was brilliant last time around in the Championship. Superb, 24 goals he scored. We get back to the Premier League. He's not really favoured. He ends up playing out of position. Inevitably, we changed manager. The manager, Juric, didn't like him. He binned him off. He went out on loan to West Brom. Struggled at West Brom. Probably come back and didn't really want to come back, I don't think. He played, obviously, till January, but he wasn't the same Adam Armstrong I saw. I think he made it pretty clear to the people inside the club that he wanted out. There was a lot of talk in the local press down here that there was a little bit of a clique within the dressing room. The team spirit wasn't great, actually, in that first sort of like few months of the season, right the way through to Christmas. The team spirit seems better, and a lot of people think because there's certain bodies going out the door. I'm not pointing fingers at Adam or anybody else, but there has been there's been players moved on with a bit of a bloated squad, and maybe it was a good thing. And maybe it was just time for Armstrong to go. I think it was probably time for him to go, and we got some money for him, which is, they done well to pick up a few quid for him. He's not a Premier League striker. I'm not sure we'll be in the Premier League next year, but he's not a Premier League striker. He struggles to score goals at that level, but he will score goals at Wolves next year. I think we had the best out of him as a player, but it has given others opportunity. And I think the way we want to play football now didn't really suit Adam Armstrong, if I'm totally honest.
Claudia, did you have a question? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I want to play a little game of hit and miss with Martin. We can. Three of your players who I think are, well, at certain times in their careers have been really, really good. I just want to know if they're hit and miss and why. One of them is Stewart, who was great with Sims at Sunderland. Of course, they're separate ways, and I still like as a striker. Mr. Fellows, another decent player, and Cameron Archer, the mystery that is Cameron Archer. So hit or miss, and why?
Stewart's a miss. He spends so much time injured. He's just injured a huge amount. He picked up another slight muscle tightness last night, so he could miss the game at the CBS on Saturday as well. So he's a blow. He's just never got going at Saints. He has a moment where he spends the whole season injured in his first season and doesn't play to the back end of the season. And then he gets injured again at the start of the next campaign, the Premier League campaign. He misses the majority of the season, plays a little bit at the end. He started this season okay, then got injured. He's just spent pretty much the 3 years he's been here injured. So I'd say a miss, really. Cam Archer is a miss as well. He's never really settled here. Limited game time this year, but never really had a run in the side. I think he's a really talented player. A really, really talented player, but he's just not. I thought it was his year this year, and he's just not got going at all. And then the other player was Fellows. I really like Tom Fellows. I want to say he's not been a hit yet. If I'm totally honest, I'm not going to dress it up and say he's been great because he's been poor. He's not got going in a Saints shirt yet. He was a massive hit for West Brom in the Championship, but he's been a miss for Southampton. He's been way short of what I think we all expected him to be. He's had moments. He's not scored a goal yet. His last 2 goals in the Championship came on the final day of last season. So he doesn't look like a player that's going to score at the moment. He's out of confidence. He's been out of the side as well. I think he will play the weekend due to injuries. But yeah, he's been a miss so far, if I'm totally honest. So I'm not being too positive there, really.
Well, I suppose though your league standings is what you're based on, especially the start of the season, because it was slow, wasn't it? And I mean, for us as a club who hadn't got parachute payments, to see yourselves, Ipswich, Leicester, obviously, and even Sheffield United to a certain extent, even though they should have probably gone up through the playoffs last season, it was a bonus for clubs like us and Middlesbrough, Hull, Millwall, that you guys are struggling because of all the cash, basically. And it feels like you hadn't really spent it well, which is a bonus as well. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
Yeah, like I look at the players we brought in, and they've had a terrible time of recruitment. Our owners, they've not been very good at recruiting. I think it was a bit hit and miss in the summer, same in January. Jack Rodoni was somebody that was heavily linked with Saints for a period of time. I think he was then one of their number one choices in the summer, and we ended up with Azaz in the end from Middlesbrough. I think Rodoni's a far better player, just in my opinion. I think he's got more about his game. I think he's a bit more of a luxury Azaz. He can go missing in big games. And then we brought in a lot of young players. We brought Casper Yander in, who looks a really good player, but he's still up and coming. Matty Grimes, would you have Matty Grimes in your side of Casper Yander at the moment? I'd have Matty Grimes just for his experience of this level. He's been there, seen it and done it. He does all the simple things really, really well. And whenever I watch Coventry play, he seems to make you guys tick. He just does the simple stuff well. And then we brought Cienza in, who's the winger from Brazil. He's been a big hit, and I think he's one of the Frank Lampard spoke about him after the game at St Mary's, how that he impressed him. There is no doubt if Southampton don't go back to the Premier League, the promoted clubs, I think Coventry will definitely be looking at Cienza. I think there'll be other clubs looking at him in the Premier League. I think he's that good. I think he can go right to the very top, Cienza. So it's been a mixed bag, really. But when I was just looking at your side from the game yesterday, and you've got some superb players. You've got some really good players, but I think your team spirit's good. Continuity of playing another season together, though they haven't spent money. I just think the manager makes a big difference. Having a manager that's been there, seen it, and done it, he will get it over the line because he's a winner. Frank Lampard is a winner, and fair play to him. What he's done this year is, whenever I've watched Coventry, you've been a joy to watch, and I'm not just saying it because I've been on your channel. But yeah, I've really enjoyed watching you play.
I think as well. He's young in management as well, which is I'm surprised. We always slag off the second tier because they're always slagging him off, basically. But he's hardly managed. He's done about 4 or 5 seasons. That's nothing in today's money as a manager, and he's took on some tough jobs, and I think he's done okay, really.
Yeah.
And this was another tough job because he came in and replaced a guy who was idolised for virtually the whole fan base, and he took it on his chin, and has got on with it. So. Yeah, in that respect, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'll hand you back to Jack just a sec. I mean, is your favourite ever Saints player Laetitia? Is that too obvious?
I'll give you 2 just to mix it up a little bit. 2 both bore the number 7 shirt. Matt's right up there. Matt Laetitia is brilliant. I get to see him around the ground quite a bit now, and I always chat to him. But Ricky Lambert is a close second for me. He was magical when we ended up getting relegated to League One, and what he did for the club to get us back to the Premier League, and what he did in a Saints shirt was brilliant. He was just phenomenal. The 2 of them for me, without question, my favourite 2 ever Southampton players.
I don't know how old you are, but I went to the game where we drew 5-5 at the Dell, and in the days when we had Alan Ball, Kevin Keegan, I think Mick Shannon was playing. It was a hell of a team for Southampton to have, and I made the journey on my Vespa. All the way from Leamington or Warwick, which was a hell of a journey because I didn't know how to get to the ground. And I told my parents I was staying at my mate's house the weekend. I didn't come back for 2 days. And it was 5-5. And I don't even think they noticed that I'd disappeared for 2 days. But
What year was that? What year was that? Was that 82?
Yeah, 82 or 83. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year I was born. That was the year I was born.
Oh,
So,
blimey.
yeah, I was born in the March of that year. I wonder if my dad was there. My
It was
dad's an
May. It
avid
was
Southampton fan.
I wonder if it had a bank holiday in it. It was about the 3rd or 4th of May it was. But yeah, you had some great players over the years. And in some ways, club size were very similar. I've always thought that.
Yeah.
We played each other. I think you're in our top 4 most fixtures in our history is Southampton.
Yeah,
Because
there's always been quite a good feel between the two. Yeah, always.
Yeah, and normally, historically, we won at home, you won at home. That's how it was, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we came up in 66, 67 originally, and I think you guys came up in the early 70s for the first time. So we kind of were on that. We played each other for years, and then I think you got relegated one time before us. I think then you came back up again. But it was, yeah, I don't know. Playing Southampton was just one of those games when we used to play at home. You think that's 2 points or 3 points, wherever it was, and but then we used to go to your place. Hardly ever got anything. Very rarely.
Yeah. Tough the Dow, wasn't it? It was a tough place to go, the Dow, wasn't it? Back in the day, as a kid growing up, I always thought the Dow was worth points. It was always worth points. But St Mary's doesn't quite have that feeling and that vibe of the Dow.
We had that bizarre 3-tier stand thing that was good. We should never pass health and safety now, would it?
No way, never ever.
I was just looking at the stats, actually. We've played 145 games. We've won 49, lost 49, drawn 47. Wow. So it's an almost perfect set of results between us. So let's hope we can get, if one of us wins, it'll be our 50th win against each other on Saturday. So that'll be quite a nice little number to get to.
Yeah, I always think us, Palace, QPR, Southampton, Norwich, all very similar in size, club-wise. So I think
well-supported, good fan bases as well, like passionate, well-supported fan base. Like I spoke about your fans when they come down. It was just like, you could just feel it. You could feel that energy from certain clubs that come down. You kind of know, don't you? You know when they're well-supported and they're loyal. And you can talk to the fans outside the ground and you mix well and the conversations are good. And we were talking about Sisu last time you were down and they were linked with us and obviously with Coventry. I remember at one game, I think, we protested against Sisu for Coventry. I can't remember what it was. There was at a game maybe last time round in the Championship, but yeah, I vaguely remember that as well.
Another little side note: I used to play hockey a lot, and I've played against your ex-owner quite a few times.
Rupert Lowe?
Rupert Lowe, yes.
Oh,
we used to give him some stick, especially when Gordon Strachan was your manager. And I used to say to him, I can't believe you got our ex-manager when he was playing, trying to wind him up, and all that. He didn't like it. He used to play for a club called Lansdowne in Gloucestershire, but hockey was his thing. He didn't have any interest in football whatsoever. Massive hockey fan.
Yeah, so, he was not the greatest chairman ever, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, he was a decent forward playing hockey, though. Back to you, Jack.
Right, before we let you go, Martin, I've forgotten what my question was going to be now. You've talked about hockey. I've gone completely off this. There we go. Right. You've talked a lot about Radoni, obviously, he's one of our best players. He was our player of the season last year, plagued with injuries this season, just about hit form. He's injured again, so he's not playing on Saturday. So other than Jack Radoni, who would you fear out of the Coventry players that are going to be available?
Oh, well, if Haji Wright's available, I'd be pretty fearful of playing against him. I watched the game against Middlesbrough. I think it was a big turning point for Coventry, actually, that game. And the performance that night was tremendous. He was at the forefront of everything good. I think it was his third goal he scored. The one from the goalkeeper. It was absolutely superb. Rushworth assisted him. It was a good goal. I like Haji Wright. I think he's superb. Sacramento, I've always been impressed with him. Mason Clark's another one I like. I've got a lot of time for him. Always look out for him. I spoke about Matty Grimes. I think he's just a brilliant Championship player. Could he go on and do it in the Premier League? I don't know. It's a big step upwards, isn't it? But then you got Brendan Thomas Asante. I thought he was a very good bit of business a couple of years ago. I would happily have him in the Southampton squad. Same with Haji Wright. I just think these players are they're tops. And whenever I've watched Coventry, when you've had injuries, you seem to have bodies go in and get you results. It always seems to be that way, that your squad is just, you've got somebody ready to step in and do a job. So yeah, you've got a lot of talent, a lot of players that I would fear. Certainly Sacramento for sure. I'm sure he'll play in the game. Mason Clark's a real danger, and Haji Wright. Who wouldn't want him in their championship side? You know,
I think you've just named our front four that's going to start. It will literally be Sakamoto, Mason Clark, Asante, and Haji Wright are going to be our front four. So if you're fearful of them, it gives me more confidence. Are you making the journey on Saturday?
I am, yeah. First time to the CBS. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, a bit anxious, a bit nervous. I think you're so close to doing it now. You're so close. And last time I spoke to Coventry fans, it was all like, we just want to get promotion. I think now when you look at the others behind you and what's happening behind you, foot on the gas and ever seen this as a big opportunity to take that chance and just aim to become the champions. And I think that's what you should absolutely aim for now, really. Hopefully it starts after the weekend and we upset things, but I think it'd be very difficult for Saints to come and get a result the weekend. If we walk away with a point, I think probably take it, but I think it'd be very tough. But I do think Coventry will be champions. I said it before Christmas, and I'll still say it now. I think you will go on and do it, and be good to see you back in the Premier League. It's a top club, well supported, and it'd be good to see you back there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And just before we go, give us your match prediction then.
Oh, match prediction. I don't want to go against Saints. I don't think we'll win it, so I'm just going to sit right on the fence. Which is really bad. I'm going to go with 2-2. But I do think in my head, I think Coventry will edge it and will win it. But I'll go with 2-2.
Brilliant, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season. And you might end up being in the Premier League with us. You never know.
No, unlikely. But best wishes to you. Enjoy it and just learn from all the mistakes we made. Look at what Sunderland have done, what Leeds have done. It can be done. I think you've got a manager, by the way, that will attract players. So I think you've got a really good chance. So, best wishes. Hope it goes well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Brilliant.
Top guys. I had loads of great comments as well.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good indeed. Interesting. It's nice to hear. It's funny because it talks about our players and we berate them sometimes and they get applauded big end, don't they, by everybody else. So
he doesn't watch 90 minutes of these players, does he? He watches TV games and highlights, so he sees the better end of the players, doesn't he?
But the table doesn't lie, does it? At the end of the day, it doesn't. So second half of the game.
Me and Claudia was saying before the show, but we're not going to have a lot to talk about tonight. It's going to be a short show. We've done an hour and we've talked about one half of football.
Well, it was a good conversation with Martin there, though, wasn't it?
He was brilliant.
A few comments before we do second half then.
Yes, Assassins United said, thought you'd like to know, Claudio, the second tier say the league is done for Coventry now. I did listen to their episode today just to hear him say it, and it was nice. Uncle Jong, a question for both of you. So when we go up, we have the obligation to buy Onyeka, correct? Can you see Grimes making the step up to the Premier League and working in tandem with Frank like we've seen in the Championship? You first.
I think it depends, because if he sits deeper, I reckon he could. But it's all down to some of the teams we play against, because some of these guys in the Prem are physical animals. They're like Frank, aren't they? So he'd be hounded down. So it'd be like your old classic, I'd hate to use the expression quarterback like they say nowadays, but he's going to have to get the ball out quicker, isn't he? And rely on people to receive the ball quicker. So what he'll need is better movement around him, basically, because if we're too static, he's going to get jumped on, sacked, as they say in American football. So I think with Onyeka and other players similar to him around him who can move around, he's got a chance. If we're static, he's got no chance.
I'm going to sound negative here, and I think I might get a couple of comments towards me. I think there is a huge step between the Championship and the Premier League. We've seen many, many players absolutely tear apart the Championship and be some of the worst players in Premier League history. Adam Armstrong's one we've talked about. He's never quite made that step up. Dwight Gale, I remember him tearing up the Championship. I know these are strikers I'm talking about, but Matty Grimes has been one of the Championship's best midfielders for 10 years now, probably. I think there's a reason that no Premier League clubs ever come in for him. And I think that's because the type of player he is top at this level in the Championship. But I think just because of the type of player he is, he won't quite cut it in the Premier League. That doesn't mean to say he won't start 30 of our 38 games next season. He might do. But that's just my opinion on the gap in quality. I think we should be looking at improving on him, as we should in every position. If he was a squad player, I would not complain one bit. But that's just my opinion.
Oh, valid point. So, more comments?
The fans have said Frank the Tank is loved at Brentford and he will be a star in the Premier League. So if Matty Grimes is playing alongside Frank the Tank, then I wouldn't worry. Will Still is a bluffer and his brother at Watford. How do these imposters get the job? Absolute jokes. Reckon 4 more wins, boys, should see up promotion. Thoughts? Mathematically, it's 5, so 4 is probably more than enough, in all honesty. Football Martin, top podcast, very unbiased opinions. Says it as it is. Nice to hear some proper unbiased opinion and insight. Absolutely fantastic guest. He's a proper content creator. He's not just a fan of the club. He is a content creator. He knows his stuff. And it's great that we could have had him on, to be honest. We tried to get him on earlier in the season, but he was busy, unfortunately. Gavs Legrand is, what I want to know, if we get promoted, will the shuttle bus from the station be free again? And will we get hot water in the toilets? And finally, Ralph Wiggins says, looking forward to the match on Saturday. I think it'll be a very exciting opportunity to show the rest of the league just what we're about. There you go.
Now, we've seen some stonewall penalties not given, not just at the CBS, but all around the grounds in this season. And we've seen some real soft ones given. I'm taking it last night because it's for us, but it was a soft one as far as I'm concerned. Just as bad as the one at Ipswich and the Stoke game and a few others over the last few games. I don't get it, Jack. I don't get how Haji Wright gets scissor kicked against Ipswich, no penalty. So obvious. Even Asante last night, he got completely barged off the ball. That's a penalty. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a free kick. And also the one we got where there's the slightest of touches and the ref just gives the penalty. It makes you wonder if he was actually cited or not. I don't know what you think on it, but I'm obviously going to take it all day, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Singer's Corner. I'm the exact opposite side of the pitch. Couldn't be further away, really, from that. I saw the player go down. I cheered, appeal for a penalty, as every fan does, and it got given. It's the first foul penalty we've had since Millwall away in the cup. So it's nice that we finally got it. Like you say, there's been way more Stonewall penalties that we haven't been given, including one last night on BTA after we've already gone 3-0 up. But I think it's one of them, Claudio, that it depends what the referee's given and if VAR's about. I think if that's not given as a penalty, VAR wouldn't give us a pen. But because that was given as a penalty, VAR would not overturn it. Because it's one of them, it's not clear and obvious. The referee's made a call. There's a bit of contact. It's very soft. EMC goes down, but the ref's given it, and that's all we care about. That's the main thing.
Yeah, got that to look forward to, haven't we? I mean, that would have took 5 minutes last night to sort that out.
And then it still would have been no decision, would it? It would have referred back to the ref.
Yeah. No, obviously, Matt Grimes stepped up because there's nobody else available, as he put it in the chat afterwards. He had to take it because all the penalty takers were on the bench, which I thought was quite funny. So he stepped up, and I actually thought he'll score. I wasn't concerned about that. Yeah. But what I want to talk about, really, I mean, that was game over 3-0. It was game over at 2-0, to be honest, is the subs, because they made, I think, a bit of an impact. I know they didn't go on to score more goals, but it made the rest, that last 25 minutes or so, even more comfortable. And it was good to see Marcelo and even Esse to some extent actually be a bit more productive on the ball. But Marcelo, for me, stood out, really. I thought it was really direct.
Yeah, Esse, I'll start with Esse because he had probably one of his better games. We've seen him be a bit poor. Obviously, he got a couple of goals when he first came in, but He's obviously fallen out of favour slightly, with Sakamoto finding some great form. There's a great deal of difference between a Marcelo and an Esse, and a Romain Esse wants to slow down, cut inside onto his left foot and find space to play a ball. Marcelo has clearly got pace, ability, excitement, agility, and to be honest, his crossing, they just picked the areas where our players weren't. There was nothing wrong with the crosses. They were in brilliant areas. If we'd have had players, if we were going for if that was 0-0, we're going for the 1-0, you might have had an extra body in that box that would have occupied the spaces where the crosses were landing. So I think Marcelo was very, very encouraging. Nice to see him actually attacking rather than defending that he had to do against Middlesbrough. And I think we've got a good player on our hands here. He looks levels above what Raphael ever looked in a Cov shirt, with no disrespect to him already. And again, I said it earlier, pace in the Premier League is crucial.
Oh, definitely. And what I thought was interesting, we scored, you could say we probably scored 3 scruffy goals, but I think you do score those type of goals when you put pressure on a team. That's how you end up scoring. Similar to when Ipswich beat us 2-0. They weren't great goals, were they? The one was deflected. The other one took a little nick as well, didn't it? I believe on the way in as well. They weren't brilliant goals. They just, the pressure tells in the end. Yet we created still more chances, didn't we? You know, Josh had a couple of shots. I think Torp and Esse had chances to. In the end, we probably should have scored more. I'll take the 3, but to me, that's what showed a complete overall, real good, solid performance yesterday.
Even Sims could have had a couple. To be honest, he had 2 great chances, and there was even potential penalty shouts on Ellis being pulled around in the box. But yeah, like you say, it's. We didn't just give up at 3-0. We carried on, and we had better chances at the end of the game than the actual goals we scored. Another day, that's a 4, 5, 6, maybe a 7. We've done it before. Who's to say we can't do it again?
Yeah, I think
it's encouraging that we're still creating chances. We didn't just shut up shop and give up.
To be honest, I think Rushy could have been sat in a deck chair with pipe and slippers in that second half. You know, he must have been freezing cold. Nothing to do. So we've got a game obviously on Saturday. But before we go for man of the match, who will you give it to?
It's hard because the players I'd want to give man of the match to potentially didn't get on the score sheet. So I think Ellis Sims was brilliant. I think Jay Da Silva was brilliant. But I'm going to have to give it to Matty Grimes. A lot of the time he gets overlooked. I think he was absolutely solid. He was running the midfield as per. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't put any teammates under pressure. And do you know what? Having a penalty, it feels like a guaranteed goal, but it's still pressure, especially when you're 3rd or 4th in the pecking order to take a penalty, yet you're the only one on the pitch, so you have to take it. That comes with more pressure. He's not scored a goal this season. He wears the captain's armband. There is so much pressure on that man's shoulders. But he stepped up, cool as you like, buried that penalty, and was a Rolls Royce as per in that midfield. I'm going to give it to Matty Grimes. I'm
going to agree with you there. I think that penalty was, in some ways, although it was comfortable at 2-0, the 3rd goal was crucial because you know, in other games it's happened. You don't score that, it gives them a little bit of belief. Next thing you know, you 2-1, and then it's a bit of a scramble. But that was the icing on the cake, and a very good performance from a guy who only a couple of months ago was struggling for form. You know, he was struggling a bit, and I think he looked knackered, as we put it. Onyeka, he's made such an impact since he's arrived at the club, without a shadow of it. It's no coincidence what he's done since he's arrived. It's obvious. It's raised the levels of performance in some of these players. And I know some people said, oh, surely one player can't do that. Well, it can. It can. You know, people look at him and see what he's about and want to raise their game to match his game. Especially as team sport, if you see somebody really trying, it makes you want to try harder because you want to be with that player. You soon get found out if you don't. You know, I've had that at amateur level. It makes a massive difference, a massive difference. So we've got our game on. Before we talk about Saturday, any more comments just to...
I was going to say, can you just do talk about the events we've got? I'll be back in 1 minute. Sorry.
Oh, right. So we have... Oh, he's gone off air. Where's he gone? He must be desperate for something. We have, of course, on the 30th of I'll get these up now. Here they go. I'm hoping I've clicked on the right one. We've got the Family Zone on Saturday, and we'll be there. I should be there with Ken and Jack, hopefully. Come along, pop and crisps, obviously for the kids. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be talking to Darren Huckabee, who should be here on the show, so you can ask him lots of questions, and that should be fun as well. My latest podcast with Jim Brown is with the wonderful Ian Wallace, who looks possibly the only player to ever look magnificent in that chocolate kit with his bright flaming red hair. Of course, we have this going on the 30th. I think get there early to get your table. I'd imagine we'll start about 7:30. We'll confirm that. But of course, an evening with a former player. There's 2 former players. There could be more. There could be other little surprises as well. But we'll talk about our journey from League Two and promotion, all that. Something that I know Jack has been really keen to talk about, and he'll be in the hot seat on the night with Miles being the MC, and the rest of us all mucking in and doing our bit. And also, if you fancy a tattoo, this guy will tattoo you. With great deals if you're a Cov fan. If you want a Cov City badge, he'll sort you out, and be so funny, Miles getting a tattoo. Right, comments, Jack?
Yes. Sky Blue Bantam says, good to hear Saint Martin's complimentary comments. Very reasoned, informative, eloquent, and a good ambassador for his club. Grimes is too slow for the Prem, says Vince. There you go. Frank Wood says, work off the ball is crucial in the Premier League. Movement and pace is everything. I want Grimes lifting that trophy at the CBS, hopefully against Wrexham. Sheaf, it could have been you. It could have been Sheaf, absolutely. I agree with Claudio. If we get a mobile, experienced centre mid, Grimes will fit. There you go. Holding midfielders are the most likely to adapt. We'll find out, won't we? Frank says, EMC tripped himself. No penalty, but it makes up for the ones we should have had earlier in the season. Mark Reed says, Claudio, with your Italian fashion roots, what did you make of Jack Radoni's outfit? Frank's look at him was hilarious. Did you see he was dressed up like the Undertaker?
He looked like Hair Flick from Hello Hello. And he's got those mad shoes on, those Japanese shoes with the separated toe, which makes him look like an extra from Planet of the Apes or something. It's just bizarre. And his hair as well. Whatever. I don't care as long as he gets fit and scores goals. He can dress in anything he wants.
Exactly.
I used to.
Nathan says, how many of our squad can make the step up to the Prem then, Jack? We'll have this discussion in a few weeks, I'm sure. Grimesy is man of the match, says Ian Small. I think we have the basis of a safe, just Premier League side. As long as we get Rushy, probably need to bring in another 3 Premier League experienced players. It will all be about squad experience and depth, I think, next season.
Well, the good thing is, Jack, is if we obviously we're going to get promoted 1 or 2, surely. We've got a longer time to sort stuff out, as opposed to waiting another month before you can do anything. You know, it's going to be, so much better for us going forward.
Paul Stratton says, for the Premier League, in my opinion, we need more quality in the back 4, 2 experienced midfielders and a top striker just to start with. Loyalty will get us relegated. Ooh, cutting edge from Paul Stratton there. And Uncle Jonga says, hope Doug King's going to get inked when we get promoted. Reading between the lines, I don't think Claudio is a fan of Radoni's clothes. There's no lines to read in between, Jim. Back to you then, Claudio.
I don't think he'd be a fan of my wardrobe either, to be honest. So Saturday then, I don't think he's going to drop anybody from the back 4. I don't think he's going to leave. Obviously, Rushworth plays. We know that. I don't think Latty will come in for Southampton. We looked quite assured on the, and there's no need to, is there really? To be honest, midfield wise, I can't see that changing either. If I'm honest, the only player I can see being left out, unfortunately, will be Ellis Sims, because I think against Southampton we probably need more pace than muscle up front.
Yeah.
Because we'll be playing more on there'll be lots more breaks, there'll be lots more room for Hadji to run into, I think. But it's, Frank sometimes throws a curveball and he might just play the same starting 11.
You never know. I mean, I think he left out Hadji Wright tactically on purpose the other day. It wasn't a case of, Hadji's a bit ill or needs a rest or anything. It was just tactical. I think he wanted to give Hadji a rest, ready for today, tomorrow, Saturday. What day are we on? I don't know. I've not had a drink tonight, I promise, for Saturday. But Sims against two quite big and physical centre halves that Preston have always got was obviously the better choice, and he outmuscled and he bullied the Preston defence. So it was the right call to make. But I do think Hadji, who was obviously an unused substitute on Wednesday night, will just slot straight back in to the team. And I think that will be the only change. I think the rest of them will remain, including the back four.
Yeah, I can't see any changes unless there is an injury we don't know about, which sometimes happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tats on the right has been magnificent, absolutely magnificent. The guy is such just a great football in terms of his attitude and the way he applies himself. It's just absolutely brilliant. So
2 goals in his last 2 starts have shown that as well.
Yeah, and EMC, he gets caught offside and all the rest of it, but he doesn't know what he's going to do. We don't know what he's going to do. I'm not sure defenders knows what he's going to do because he cuts in and out and in and out, and he's such good feet on the ball as well, and awkward to play against. Him and De Silva, great understanding. Milan and Sakamoto, great understanding on the other side. We can now see a connection between Onyeka and Grimes, the way they interact, the way they change positions. It's brilliant to see. You got Asante doing the dog's work up front, really. The work that needs to be done to close teams down. If I'm honest, I can't see anything but a win on Saturday, Jack. If I'm wearing sky blue now, I'd be wanting to get out on that pitch and do it again, because the turning point was that Middlesbrough match, and it's a key game because to have lost that, to be 5 points behind, potentially going to our next game, which is going to be difficult, and to lose that, we thought we were going to get done over and end up being 8 points behind. It would have been an absolute nightmare. It's interesting that we won our next 3 home matches. Well, we won the 3 home matches, while Middlesbrough have basically got a bit stuck, haven't they? They've drawn 2 and lost 1. And I think that game has turned it for us. It's such a key moment. And the man who's come into the squad is that Onyeka, and it's there, isn't it? And it's made a big difference. And I can't see us. I mean, I said before that we'd go on a run of winning games. That's what Frank Lampard does with this team. It wouldn't surprise me. We win the next 3 matches still and get 9 wins here. It would not surprise me at all.
I think we've got to talk. We can't talk about the next 3, in my opinion, because that's 2 before international break and 1 after. It's a significant gap, right? So I think we have to talk about the next 2. But you're right. A part of me keeps saying this winning run can't continue. It has to come to an end at some point, as every run does. But I can't see when that's going to happen. I mean, we didn't see it against Wrexham, did we, at the start of the season when it came to an end? We didn't really see it at Portman Road. We thought we could be the better side and go on and do it, switch over and really kick on. Obviously, that was the start of the rot, I suppose, with Torp falling ill and the fixture list being congested. But having said that, having spoken to a very clued up Saints fan today and having watched us over the last 6 games, I see nothing but a win as well. I think you're absolutely right. I think Swansea away will be a lot harder. Swansea are very good at home this season. Looking at the home and away tables, Swansea are 5th. They've won 10 out of 19 home games, drawn 5, lost 4. So I think if we got to Swansea and got a draw, that would still be a very good and respectable outcome.
The kickoff time is going to be key, because I know when we had the players' evenings and we talked to them, they were saying that Hadji preferred the early kickoff because he's done and dusted, got the game out of the way, and they could chill out for the rest of the day. The 3 o'clock was fine. It's the evening games and these daft times like 5:15 where they don't know what to do. Your whole day starts later than it should do in terms of preparation, and there's a lot of sitting around and waiting. So I think the Swansea game's a weird one because it's a weird time, isn't it?
And then both the following games on Good Friday and Easter Monday are 8 p.m. kickoffs. So are we getting a bet that Hadji will perform well this weekend as a lunchtime kickoff, and then the next 3 games he won't score because they're late kickoffs? Is that going to be the the hoodoo, I suppose?
We'll find out, won't we? But I think we'll win 2-0, 2-1, maybe 2-1. I mean,
what are you going for? Let me stick it in.
I'll go on then. I reckon it's going to be 2-1, probably score 2, and then a bit of a dodgy last 10 minutes.
I'm going to go 1-0.
The result filters in that Middlesbrough lose to their bogey team, Bristol City. That's what you've got to remember. It's their biggest team, Bristol City. Bigger than us.
Other than us. Yeah, I'm going 1-0. I think they're much improved from where they were. Sorry. They won't be easy to roll over like Preston ended up being. But as we've said, I feel like we are only going to win. We are the best team in the league for a reason. Home and away, home especially. And I see us edging it 1-0.
That'll do me. I think we're close to wrapping up now, I think, Jack, I believe.
Rock the Casbah says, thank you for the programmes, Claudio. Miles gave them to me last night. I had a good chat as well in Dillon's. First time in Dillon's, actually, last night for myself. So I did enjoy it. It was all right. I went way before it got busy. So
right. I've had they're the home programmes from the European games in 77, 71. I got some spare ones. So it's good, this Cov City family. We do tend to share things. I like that. If you haven't got it, swap things around. Bit of swapsies, you can't beat it. I'm still trying to finish my EFL Panini sticker album.
You never will.
I know, I won't. Keep going with the comments, sorry.
James Hollyoak says, the buzz around our club is amazing. We're definitely going up as champions. The team spirit is clear to see. Swansea are only as good as you let them be. Turn up and compete as we are now doing. We get a result. Absolutely right. And here's something, Claudio, that we've both just brushed over. Absolutely. Had you got a hat-trick on an evening game against Borough?
How bizarre.
But that was just after me and Claudio had given him a pep talk at our players' evening. So that was the difference.
It's funny, isn't it? Because that night he said he was really confident in his ability. He reckoned he could get 20 goals.
He did. And I'm thinking, you've only got 11, mate. You get a move on. And hasn't he? 6 in his last 5. You've got to move on. 9 to go. He's only 4 off getting 20 in the league, 3 off getting 20 all competitions. So
on Saturday we've got the after thingy show, haven't we? After match show, which is going to be at 4:30.
Yes, we're going to do 4:30, and we're going to follow the results of elsewhere coming in live.
And then we're back on Sunday as well for another show.
Mother's Day,
a mother of all show. It's going to be, apparently.
There you go, mother of all shows.
It's Mother and Sunday. Any more last comments before we wrap up then?
Yeah, Frank Wood's going 3-0 City because Saints will come for us and get caught on the break. Ian Small says 2-0. Who wins the handbag fight this time at the final whistle? Well, it was Joe Edwards won it last time. Someone ran over to Frank. He just went over and dropped his shoulder, didn't he? I remember that.
Yeah.
4-0 says Gaz Jones. Get your Cheltenham winnings on it. Philip says, I hope they don't go to Dubai in the international break. I think there'll be a very slim chance of that.
Yeah.
Claudio, they have a swap shop for the EFL stickers in the family zone. Well, you're going to be down there, Claudio, with us, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing you haven't got a kid with you, though.
Take Ken. Say he's your big kid.
I'll take Luca, but he's in Amsterdam, so yeah, so he won't be there on Saturday. He's going to the Ajax Rotterdam match. That's a good fixture to go to. Yeah, yeah.
And this to tell you about, Jack and Matty ran their 100 miles of hope for Alyssa, pictured there, finishing it this week. Obviously, we had them on the show back in January, and they delayed it because of illness, but they've completed it. So it's great to have all the support from the Sky Blue Army as they have, and everyone else that's donated. So thank you everyone for being involved. And I'm sure if anyone's got a result of the raffle, the shirt raffle that they did, I'm sure we'll get that out there when we know about it. Like we say, come and join us in the family zone, at 10 o'clock. We'll be there from 10 o'clock. It's open at 10 o'clock. So come down, come and say hi, grab a selfie with Claudio, get your free crisps off Ken. He might even bring a Binley Mega Chippy with him, and come and say hello to me. I'll talk stats with you as well. That would be fun.
Brilliant.
Obviously, we've got our event at Greens. We'll get more details to you on the times, but Doyler and more to be confirmed. All will be revealed. Get your tickets now. We're about a third sold so far of a maximum capacity of 120. So tickets are going fast. Link is in our YouTube description and on our social media pages. Anything else to add, Claudio?
I think we should end the show on that video again, because it's a great way
it's set for the outro.
Brilliant. So cheers, Jack, for your input. Thanks to Martin from Saints, which is let's hope they won't be marching. Well, they've been marching home with nothing. That'd be fantastic. And and we'll do them over, because we need the points more than they do anyway. We want to get this done and dusted by Easter, don't we? I want to enjoy the last 4 games of the season, and not feel guilty if I actually go away and we lose. But I'm going to Hull and I'm going to Blackburn. I'm not missing out, just in case. It cannot be done.
Well, I was saying to Claudio last night that there could be a scenario where we need to win at Hull to win the league, and we lose, but we've already won the league because other results have gone our way. So Claudio could end up going to a game that we lose, but we still win the league. Fingers crossed, we don't, but it's very possible.
Yeah, I think it is. So good night from me and a good night from Jack. Play up Sky Blues. We're going to leave with this. Enjoy Saturday. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Yes, we are top of the league, Mark PUSB.
Play up Sky Blue.
Sky Blue Fans TV.